We're all born with the human code inside of us. It's like hidden. And in corporate, it was becoming almost weaponized. So when you use the human code, it is a language at which we share, no matter where you come from, no matter where you've been, no matter where you're going, to infinity and beyond.
Welcome to Mastery Podcast, where we explore the art of living fully, balancing mind, body, spirit, and passion in pursuit of a better world. I am your host, Dr. Sass. Today, we have the pleasure of diving into the brilliant world of Samantha Brown, founder and CEO of Connect More. She is an engineer, author, wife, and a mom of two. And Samantha is a pioneer communication expert and the visionary behind the Human Code visual communication tool. Welcome, Samantha.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I am also excited to talk to you about this human code that you created. Now, you have a mission to decode human communication intricacy, bridging communication gaps, and forging a deeper connection. And tell us why you want to do that. You're an engineer and a computer programmer.
Yes.
What is the story behind that?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for asking. I am very passionate about this topic because I lived that journey. Mm-hmm. I started my career as a COBOL programmer, computer programmer. And so over 20 plus years of the tech world, you learn that you think and you speak a little different. We like to call it pseudocode, but it's just a way of knowing how to process information. But with that became a struggle of communicating with my partner in life over 20 years of marriage and my mom and my being a parent of two. I started to feel the stress and anxiety and exhaustion from being a wife, a mom, a career professional, and felt like I was doing all the things. And it was just really hard to communicate. It was hard to communicate in a way at which I was being understood. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I couldn't verbally communicate. It's just that I felt like people weren't understanding what I was trying to say.
I can understand. You were speaking in codes. Like in the medical field too, we have this different code that we use, and it's like, it's a jargon, right? And then you try to communicate, and I can imagine we, as a human being, speaking just without the coding, behind all that, we have problem communicating. And you figure that out because of this experience that you went through. The model, think different, speak unified, is incredibly powerful. Can you explain how this principle guide your approach to the communication?
Yes. I felt really blessed when that motto came to me, because the human code was created in order to be a unified language, to cross the generation gap, to bridge all of the divide that we have in the way we think different, the way we communicate. Because there's so many things that make communication, whether it's our personality, our upbringing, our culture, if English isn't your first language, right? I mean, there's a translation that's happening in our brain, and we often forget that we don't know where someone's come from, their journey. We don't know how they're visually seeing the words, because we define words visually in our brain. And so when we talk about thinking different, speaking unified, for me, what that means is that we are treating each other with respect. We're treating ourselves with respect, and it's respect for others to actively listen, to be understood, to allow them to bring their creativity, because we're all creators. Right. Even in the tech and the science world, right? We're still all creators.
I love that you said that.
Yes.
Because I'm very spiritual. For me, being a creator is like you're part of the creation.
Yes.
And it's like you cannot take a piece of water and from the ocean and say, this is a separate part of the ocean. You're still the ocean.
Yes, that's literally, thank you for saying it like that, is a transformation from chaos to flow. So the symbol for me, for the human code, is literally an infinity. It's a 4-colored infinity, to go from chaos of living in a complex world to what we call synergy and flow. Mm-hmm. And with that, if you can just simply, it's like bringing the elements of nature, fire, water, right? It's the same thing, but we just put it into 4 colors that we learn. Essentially, we're all born with the human code inside of us. It's like hidden. Mm-hmm. But I just want people to feel like they have, like, permission granted, right? You have permission to bring the superpower out and use those 4 zones of genius that you're born with.
And what are those 4 zones of genius?
The 4 zones of genius are yellow, mm-hmm. blue, green, and red.
Wow.
And when you put them in an infinity, you mm-hmm. now see how you can flow.
I love
You can treat people. Our core values are we care, showing people how to have curiosity in life, adaptability in life, mm-hmm. respect, and empathy.
Nice, nice. And going back to the colors, which is, and it flows like this, yes. right? And I love the color code that you have, because it's like red. I'm automatically like, red is like this.
Yeah.
It's like, it's innate in us to recognize those color. And I know you have this thing on your website where you have the tool that we just click on, and then we answer all these questions, and there's like this analysis.
It is.
Of the human code.
Yes, you are welcome to go to the website, thehumancode.us. And that is, the assessment, the human code assessment is right there on the front screen. And it takes about 4 minutes. Don't overthink it. It's very simple, and it's meant to keep things at a high level so that you can actually see your results that says this is the preferred zone of genius mm-hmm. that you feel most energized in. Because again, the human code is about self-awareness of your energy management as well. Mm-hmm. Because if you're working and living in a zone that isn't your primary preferred zone, you're going to feel more exhaustion. Have you ever had a conversation with someone where you just felt like it was almost an energy vampire, or it was exhausting?
Yes, definitely. And I did the test.
Oh.
And it literally took me less than 4 minutes. It's like click, 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 click,
yes.
and done. And you get the answer back
yes.
right away. It was like, I'm like a yellow zone most of the time.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yellow is your socializer zone. Mm-hmm. And then blue is your planner zone. Yeah. Green is your equalizer zone. And red is your commanding zone.
Oh, nice.
So that just means what are the lens that you're looking through and processing information to communicate. So you in a yellow zone, which was actually very close to the red zone, right? It means
right.
you like to drive in life. You like to be out of the box thinking, right?
Right.
No constraints, ideation.
And it hasn't always been like that. Can people move from different zone to different zone?
And I'm so glad you said that, because it's very scenario based, mm-hmm. meaning it could be your work life, it could be your relationship, your personal life. Yeah. You are going to be in each zone multiple times a day.
Yeah.
It's scenario based. It's really about decision making too. Because how do you have to think in those different zones? You may have to show up differently at work, or in this moment differently than you do at home, or in a family scenario, or on a vacation, right? And so
right.
it is, again, it's about that self-awareness, and how do you want your message, your communication to be received.
Nice,
right?
nice.
We often don't realize that.
When we communicating right now,
yeah.
Are we in the yellow zone?
We are very much yellow and green, and then we dip into blue and red because we start talking about processes.
Oh, yeah.
So in my world,
when we're thinking, then
mm-hmm.
it's red.
Yeah, well, we're thinking in all of the zones. That's the beauty of it. We get confused because we don't know how to categorize mm-hmm. different areas. But when you associate, think of it this way. We receive a lot of assessments that want to label us. And what I realized is that a lot of times as human beings, the one thing that connects us is also the thing that can cause some frustration with people. And it was labeling people. And in corporate, it was becoming almost weaponized. So when you use the human code, it is a language at which we share. No matter where you come from, no matter where you've been, no matter where you're going, to infinity and beyond, we have the human code.
Like you.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. Now, can you explain what you mean by success in communication?
Yes. For me, success is defined as being a happier human. Because to be fair, we can define success. Everyone will have a different definition of success.
Right.
But I think true success is feeling the joy and being able to express yourself authentically and know that you may communicate different than someone else, and that's okay.
That's okay.
We want the diversity,
right?
Yes, it's about inclusion, belonging. That again, it's think different and speak unified, so that we take our diversity and bring ourselves up to a level at which we're unified. Because at least that way, we're communicating with each other as it's bringing humanity back into technology. Because we're so connected with technology, and that is a form of communication. I mean, do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Most people will have a cell phone or a form of a digital device. If not now, then we hope to bridge that gap moving forward for mobility's sake, right?
Right.
So don't fight it. Technology is the future. We're going to integrate with it by using your phone. Those 4 colors are on your keyboard.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, you know, we can use this technique in the corporate world, in communication with your husband, with your kids, with your friends, and all those stuff. And I want to touch on moms a little bit. What common communication challenges did you feel like moms have? I know, especially working mom. I was a working mom when my kids were young, and looking back, just looking at your communication code, I was like, I wasn't use any technique at all. I try to be kind. I try to be calm, but then you're like, oh, you know, stuff hit the ceiling. And then, you know, you went into red zone right away. So it works in that area also.
You know, that was a blessing for me, because as I was doing I say mom as in manager of mayhem, doing all the things, right? So when I would be really stressed and come back home, I didn't have enough time to truly regulate myself and reset. You know, I'm continuously working on becoming that better version and figuring out the tools to do that. So what I realized is that, to your point, if I showed up and my child was really wanting me to be mom, the nurturer, which is more my green zone, but I was still in my red zone of making stuff happen, like execute, let's do it, let's get to it, you know, pretty quick. That actually was damaging our relationship, and it can create that disconnect. And you don't intend to, right? I mean, you know, if that's not your intention.
Right. A lot of relationships, whatever that is, it always get ruined. The number one cause is miscommunication, not understanding each other. So this tool is really powerful. And we talk about that free assessment that you have on your website. Where is that again? Can you remind?
That is at thehumancode.us.
Humancode.us. Now, it's clear that the human code visual communication tool is more than just a method, right? It's a movement towards transformation of our interactions with each other into more meaningful, authentic connections. Thank you so much, Sam, for being here and sharing this wealth of knowledge, this tool that you know you have created. It is amazing. And to our audience out there, we invite you to embrace the journey towards communication mastery with the Human Code visual communication tool and unlock the potential for true understanding in every aspect of your life. And remember, the art of living fully is a journey we take together, balancing mind, body, spirit, and passion in pursuit of a better world. So, but don't forget, subscribe to Mastery Podcast so you won't miss the next episode. Until next time, this is Dr. Sash encouraging you to master your communication and master your life. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much for having me today.